we are here today to a new webinar. It's how to secure your private cloud platform at OVHcloud with VMware NSX. I'm the host from OVHcloud, so Laurent Blin, I'm product marketing team manager, and we are Timo and Samuel. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So Timo is a staff multi-cloud solution architect. He is working with us since a long time. And we have also Samuel, who is a senior solution engineer on networking and security regarding the topic that we have today. So you have the floor for you.
Okay, so where are we here today? So one of the main, I would say, questions of people is what is network virtualization? It's a very hot topic, a trend that has been here for a few years. And I'm going to explain basically the basic differences between like before network virtualization and after network virtualization. So in the past, what we had is physical hardware, basically physical servers, physical devices, switches, routers, load balancers, any security devices. And what we have today now, we were transitioning to a more, let's say, stacked platform where you have all the components you need to basically deploy a full SDDC infrastructure. So a software-defined data center infrastructure. And what are we bringing here is we're bringing all the components that allows you to encompass and basically put what we have done for, I would say, hardware virtualization, which means compute, into the networking world. So we're bringing all the network facilities and features into VMware. And how are we doing that? We're bringing basically an overlay on top of VMware, and we're simplifying all the network components. So we can do switching, we can do routing, we can do firewalling, we can do load balancing, VPN, interconnections. And that's one of the main things that has changed since the physical world, is it helps us from a single plane of basically management and control plane to deploy all your services and your IT needs in a very simple way. So you don't need to go into like the physical world and ask for like a new load balancer for scaling or like a new router. Everything is in software and it's very simple to scale out from. So I'm gonna let Samuel talk a bit more about it in the next slides.
Thank you, Timo. Let's have a look at this slide to talk about challenges we can face with the traditional approaches, networking approaches. Since we virtualize the compute and the VMs, the VMs has been decoupled from the compute inside a host or hypervisor, but not the network, as you said, Timo. And we can we have some challenges with that. For example, when you deploy workloads on your environment or VMs, that can be slow and complex due to the intensive operational tasks that have to be made to configure your network infrastructure. You have as well centralized services like firewalling, load balancing, but as well IDS, IPS, for example. And all those services or the topology is hardware dependent. That can be a challenge as well to manage with that. And the last point is here the placement and the mobility of your workloads in your environment that can be limited. For example, if you would like to move some workloads from one data center rooms to another or to another data center, that can be complicated to prepare your underlay network and your configuration to maintain, for example, the layer 2 continuity from the source and the destination. So the network virtualization here can help to manage those challenges. And for example, you can now, when the network is virtualized, you can programmatically provision and consume your infrastructure and your network infrastructure either manually through the OVHcloud UI or automatically with API, for example. It's more efficient. You don't have to call the network guys to configure the underlay to connect the new VMs. All is prepared, and you can build your own topology on top of your virtualized environment the services can be now distributed. The network services and security services can be now distributed on your environment. And for example, with distributed firewall, you can have a dedicated layer 4 to layer 7 stateful firewall front of each VM's VNIC. That's very powerful. And as I said, you can really build your own topology to manage all your challenges, your topology, and address some challenge like multi-tenancy and other like that. We'll talk about later. Timo, I turn it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So to summarize, what is the big change that has happened in the last years? You might have heard from like very known advertisers that virtual ports are now way more spread than physical ports on the networking world. So you can see it's a huge trend that people are basically migrating from only physical networking to also virtual networking and all the SDN solutions on top of it. And the facility it has to basically allow you to create a whole new infrastructure or platform as a service, I would say, on top of VMware, using basically VMware NSX. And this is coming basically to you for the new OVHcloud offering. And I'm going to let Laurent talk a bit more about it in the next slide.
Yeah, thank you. So as you can imagine, if you don't use NSX and you don't use this virtualization, it's really easy to do it and easier than doing physical actions in the data center and on the network assets also. So we launched more than 1 year ago a new range of servers, which is hosted private cloud Premier, powered by VMware. And in this one, we have different package, and you can buy more hosts, more data stores after that. And the main thing to know is regarding the topic of today is firstly, NSX is included in this offer. So, and we are here also to explain that NSX is not extra charge for your company, and you can use it and you can build a lot of things to improve security on your platform. And the second thing that I would like to share also here is the fact that we have OVHcloud and the traffic is not extra charge, so it's included in the package that you get. So from that you will find a lot of more information on our website, and it's not the goal of today to explain in details, but you can see also the fact that the connectivity for this host is very good, with 4 links of 25 gigabytes for your private and your public connectivity. And you will have also options available, as for example the security pack or the Vim backup, Zerto, etc. So you have all the package to build and customize that as you need for your platform. And NSX is really something included in this package, and you can build a lot of things to improve the security of your platform. So the goal of today and the next slide will be to go deeper in this topic. And before that, because we speak about security is also certifications, and it's a proof point from the different markets or different countries to provide a level of security qualified or certified by an organization. So you can see that we launched VMware platform in OVHcloud in 2011, and so the first available product was in 2012. And after that, we improve the security every year and every day, I would like to say, because you can see all certification that we have for healthcare, for example, in France, or also ISO certification in all regions, and PCI DSS for banking sector, etc. And because we are today also, and we are in 2021, I would like to show the fact that we got also a SecNumCloud qualification, which is a top level of security requested by ANSI organization, to provide a level of service for public sector in France. So, and you can see also a new certification that we are going to get in the future. But currently, we have also Hagid in Italy, C5 in Germany, and all of that build a level of security for all companies. So let's go back to NSX, but NSX is one part, and there is certification around. And in the world of VMware platform that you use, you will have to improve and design your security and the network side. So yeah, let's go on NSX now to focus on this topic.
Thank you, Laurent. So let's talk about NSX use cases now. All those use cases that we are talking about now is included in your OVHcloud offer and can be used easily from your UI or through API. Sorry, the first one we would like to highlight is the layer 3 routing inside the SDM, inside the network virtualized layer. We have the ability to distribute the routing and to manage some challenges we can have, using the hardware or the physical network, like for example the scale, the VM mobility. We talked about that already. The multi-tenancy and the traffic hairpinning. With NSX, you can build your own topology. You can build different topology for different tenants. For example, you can see on the screen for tenants A, B, and C. With leveraging the distributed routing. What is it? What's the distributing routing? We will see that we can route inside every hypervisor between a different network, different layer 2 network, to optimize the routing, and you don't have to hairpin the flow to the physical network. We'll see just in a minute. And building those topology in your convenience, you can, of course, use well-known dynamic routing protocol like OSPF and BGP to interconnect your topologies to the physical network with, of course, high availability. You can, sorry, no, it's okay. So I was talking about distributed routing. Here is an example. We have, for example, here 2 logical switches with some VMs connected on it. In NSX, we can interconnect those logical switches. Logical switches is the layer 2, the name of the layer 2 in NSX. That's a VLAN in the physical network world. So we can in NSX interconnect 2 logical switches and distribute the routing inside hypervisor, as I said. And as you can see here in the traditional topology, when you route from 2 different logical switch, even if the 2 VMs are connected on the same hypervisor, the flow needs to be hairpinned to the physical router to be routed. With NSX, the routing is distributed and can happen directly into the hosts or hypervisors, and it's very efficient here. Yes, the next use case is the distributed firewalling, and I'll let Timo to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Samuel just explained, the advantage, the pros, I would say, of this with routing also apply to firewalling, is we're able to do basically firewalling at the VNIC level of a VM. So usually in, let's say, a physical world, when you need firewalling, you need physical firewalls. So they're usually done at layer 3, meaning that you need routing plus firewalling on top of it. And those 2 features means that traffic needs to go outside of the hypervisor, needs to be routed on the physical infrastructure, and need to be firewalled on top of it. With NSX, the main, let's say, pro about it is you can basically filter any packet that comes out of a VM on a specific network adapter. And that allows you to first basically have an ability to scale very quickly, because as you're adding more hypervisor to your clusters to basically manage the load of your, I would say, workloads, you also basically enhance the capacity of your networking firewalling capabilities, because it's fully distributed on any hypervisor and any VM or VNIC level. So one of the things that we will see at scale is the more VMs you have and the more hosts you have, the bigger your basically firewall capacity is from a performance perspective, because it's done by the hypervisor. So it's basically done in x86 compute from the hypervisor CPUs, and you can obtain basically a very close to line rate performance per host, which is very, let's say, streamlined when you're basically doing a VMware stuff. So maybe let's switch to the next slide, and I will explain a bit more on how it works. So here you have been seeing like a small animation of a VM moving from an hypervisor to another one. That's a very common feature in VMware that is called vMotion. And when you're doing firewalling with a VM that is moving from a host to another one, your policies are following that VM. They're attached to a specific object. You can add it to security policies. You can add it to other objects in VMware. You can say the two VMs on this port group will not talk to each other. And it's an abstracted way of doing your own security policies and doing zero trust security zones, for example. You can do that very simply and basically disallow east-west traffic, which is really hard in the physical world. So if you think about it, is a VM on the same layer 2 can be basically filtered in a way that it will not talk to the next VM on the same layer 2. So without going through a gateway, you will be allowed to disable and drop that traffic between those two VMs. So for a security, let's say, perspective and zero trust security advancement, you can do like DMZs and different zones based on those security policies. So it's very simple to allow, like, if you had, for example, multiple web apps or multiple DB servers, you can put them on the same layer 2, but still disallow them or drop basically all traffic between them. And that's something we call micro-segmentation. It's firewalling at layer 2. And on the physical world, you cannot do that. Absolutely not. The only way you could do this in a physical world is doing firewalling at the guest OS level, meaning IP tables or Windows firewall, whatever. But that means you are losing that single control plane that we are bringing here. Is from a single control plane, management plane, API perspective, you can build all that in one API code, basically. If you had to do this in a physical world, you would need to go on each guest OS, configure the firewall locally for different guest operating systems. So, it adds basically operations, complexity, and stuff like that. In NSX, we can simplify that to the utmost simplest denominator in terms of security, which could be port groups, for example. VMs on the same port group do not talk to each other. It could be VM names, VM name conventions, basically, like on a prefix, a suffix, whatever, a specific term. And that allows you to basically be very flexible in terms on how you build your own rules, and especially simplify them. Because as you can imagine, managing 3,000 firewall rules is not easy. But with VMware, you can, and NSX, you can basically build that on top of your OVHcloud offering. So I will let Laurent maybe talk a bit more about the next steps.
Yeah. So
it's not.
This one is for you. So sorry, guys.
It's for me. No problem. Thank you, Timo. Yes, as you said, it's very distributed firewall is very powerful, and it's a new way to manage your security policy model. So as we already said, it's included in your OVHcloud offers. So don't hesitate to use it. Another use case we would like to highlight here is the load balancing with NSX. You can use this feature. That's also a feature included in the product. That's the ability to configure virtual server on your infrastructure, in your virtualized network infrastructure. It's based on NSX edges. That's NSX Components. Used to run the load balancing, and you can use different load balancing topologies like inline or one arm, as you can see on those different tenants on the slide. It's very powerful as well. You can consume it automatically or manually as well, like every features in NSX. And that's layer 4 to layer 7 load balancing with SSL and different kind of script if you need it when using load balancing. So it's as well a pertinent load balancer. So you can really use different NSX edges to associate it to different tenants to use it. It's very powerful as well. And I will let Timo talking about the last use case we'd like to highlight today, which is VPN.
Absolutely, thank you, Samuel. So one of the main topics in 2020 and 2021 is what we call hybrid cloud. So people want to interconnect their on-prem with their cloud services and vice versa for various different use cases. It could be disaster recovery as a service. It could be just extending your workloads into the cloud. It could be connecting your users to a specific data centers. And NSX for vSphere basically brings that through the NSX Edge VPN. We do have multiple VPNs. We're going to talk about the IPsec VPN. We have two flavors of the IPsec VPN. We have the first one, which is policy-based, where you're basically going to provide the static routes, more or less, of what networks you have on-prem and basically in the cloud, on an OVHcloud offering, for example. And you can also do route-based policy, route-based basically IPsec VPNs, which means you can afterwards peer with BGP between those two environments, or multiple of them, because you can obviously connect multiple clouds with different VPN connections and connect multiple OVHcloud offerings, for example. So the main first offering is, it would be like for the first top diagram would be on-prem to OVHcloud private cloud, for example. So you would have a network device on-prem that would connect to an NSX edge device into the OVHcloud offering. And you would be allowed to either do policy, as I said, or route-based VPN. Usually people do route-based in 2021 because you don't want to do static routes anymore, I would say. So usually you go through BGP or SPF. You can do either of those. They are both available. Most of the people do use BGP because it's better known for that aspect, I would say. And you can do filtering at a much easier level. And the second one could be like connecting to basically private cloud offerings. So one thing you need to know is we're not basically competitors of the OVHcloud network offerings. You can today, using basically OVHcloud VRAC, connect to private clouds in OVH automatically, and they will extend the layer 2 domains between those. But if you need to do layer 3, or you want to connect on-prem, for example, with your customer, one of the things you might need is either go to OVHcloud Connect, OVHcloud Cloud Connect, might be the full name, I would say, which basically allows you to have a peering partner and go directly to OVH data centers through, let's say, a private link, which can be 10 gigs, for example. And if you do not need that level of performance, you can also go through NSX Edge and use an IPsec VPN to do the same, I would say the same feature, basically. The only thing that could be used for in a parallel, it could be like a backup link for the OVHcloud Connect. It could be, you know, various different things. We're not basically constraining anyone to how they can use it. And one of the things that you can see here is we can do layer 3 VPN, but we also do have like layer 2 VPN if required for some migration paths. So if you have an on-prem workload and you want to migrate to OVHcloud private cloud, you can also basically extend the layer 2 domains with an NSX Edge on-prem that's going to be provided by OVHcloud. That's about it. Thank
you, Timo. Let's talk about the NSX components. You can see here how it works. It's hidden in your environment, in your OVHcloud environment, so you don't have to take care about that, and it's managed by OVH, but it's that can be interesting to know how it works. So what are the main components here for NSX? Is the NSX the management plane, the NSX manager. That's the entry point of the infrastructure, if I can say that, and that's the that's where the consumption is done via API. For example, the cloud consumption on the top can consume NSX through the NSX manager and the management plane. Then we have the control plane. That's a high availability control plane with 3 NSX controllers installed on your environment. So there is an important things to know here. The NSX controller and manager are not hosted on your infrastructure, on your OVH infrastructure, but they are in admin platform, if I can say that, and everything is controlled from here. And lastly, we have the data plane. The data plane is composed by, as you can see, NSX edges. We talked about that already, where that's a routing component or used for the load balancing as well. The data plane is also composed from the ESXi host by themselves, the hypervisor, and that's where really the flows, the VMs and IP flows is routed and is switched in the environment. So that's a high performance data plane with a scale out distributed forwarding model, as Timo said earlier, and that's it. It's as I said, it's hidden. You don't have to touch to those components, but that's how it works. And the NSX Manager UI is embedded on the vCenter user interface, so you can access to the NSX Manager UI through the vCenter. And there is a one-to-one relationship between the NSX Manager and the vCenter. We have here a slide to talk about the NSX roadmap. We talked about with Timo NSX features, security and networking features in an NSX-V environment. NSX-V is moving to NSX-T. That's the natural evolution for NSX. And NSX-T now is not only tied to a vSphere infrastructure, but we can also with NSX-T address some KVM infrastructure, or as you can see on the slide, containers infrastructure or multi-cloud. That's a new approach for this product. NSX-T means NSX transformer. And we can see here that we have a lot more features like security features we talked about in NSX-V, switching, routing, and distributed firewall. All of those features are still, of course, in NSX-T, but we have as well NSX distributed IDS and IPS. So that's the ability to use IDS and IPS in a distributed manner in front of each VM's VNIC, as Timo explained for micro-segmentation. That's the same now for IDS and IPS, sorry. And we have as well advanced load balancing functionality like GSLB, WAF, coming from AVI network. AVI is has been bought by VMware a few years ago and is now included in NSX. So we can now use with NSX-T all the advanced feature coming from AVI and different other networking features. I'm not going to go too deeply now, but just to understand that NSX is evolving actually, and those product is not already present, or you cannot use it for the moment in OVHcloud, but it's in roadmap and you will be able to use it soon. So I will let Laurent to talk about OVHcloud roadmap.
Yeah, thanks a lot, because today we are here to present exactly NSX NSX-V for vSphere, and as you said, there is a transformation, and we are following the roadmap from VMware to provide all features for customers and for all your platforms. So yeah, so I would like to show you here different project linked to hosted private cloud provided by VMware on OVHcloud, because we have the product, but not only, there is also new features, and there is also other products linked to your platform. So first of all, yeah, we launched, as I said, the second cloud offer this year. We are working to provide the VMware vSphere 7, which is a project to launch in go live early in 2022 with a preview before, and the migration plan, because it will be for new offer firstly, and then we are going to provide features to do this migration smoothly from the previous version. And there is also the NSX-T, so the famous that we discussed today, and this one is a plan to be available by the end of the first quarter in 2022, with also a migration plan linked to this one. So this one is really the topic of today, and NSX is available now. So regarding how you want to design your platform, you should discuss with our team, with professional services, or with people that they are available during the sales process to explain what you want to build, to define exactly what the best way to implement your project in the cloud. I mean, because as we said, we're speaking about OVHcloud offering, but there is also hybrid cloud and other possibility to connect to your data center or to another providers. So don't hesitate to share your project to include, in fact, the project link to the roadmap and provide the best platform for you. And after that, we are going also to launch new offer. Sorry, let's go back. Yeah, there is new offer also for next year. Just a teasing, but it will be really useful also, this one. And after VMware 7 and NSX-T, we spoke about containers, and Tanzu is a new product included in the platform that we are going to launch next year also. And new locations. We know that several customers want to have our platform available in other regions, in other locations, to build more DRP infrastructure, etc. So even if we are available in Canada, in the US, and in Europe also, we are going to provide more locations from next year. So that's for the product, and linked to this one, there is new features. So we are going to provide the last release of VROPS, which is not the topic of today, but it's more to provide more monitoring on your platform and improve the operation on this one. Also, certification, federation, and a new feature, which is something that we are going to launch during next weeks. It's the VDC feature. It's to build a virtual data center in your PCC for people that they know our products. So it will be really helpful to migrate or to isolate an environment with the VDC feature. And the last one is more about other products. So as I said, we have also the possibility to add more data stores. So currently we are working to decommission old data stores that we provide. So the old one. So that's a project that we are going to do until the end of June 2022. And linked to this one, we have also decommissioning of DC offers. So all the offers that we launched before 2016 to migrate to the new platforms with Premier offer that we discussed before, which is really more powerful with more use case, more features, more possibility for your platform. So we are going to work with our customers and to build with you the best design to onboard your virtual machine and your environment. Yeah, linked to this one, we spoke about BGP, OSPF, and we spoke about OVHcloud Connect. We are going to add more providers. We know that several customers need more providers. So until now, we have Megaport and Equinix, but there is a new one that we are going to provide. We spoke about backup and Zerto in the premiere slide, a premiere offer slide, and we are going to release the last version of Vim Enterprise and provide the last version of Zerto also. And the last topic, one more after, it will be we are going to provide a KMS as a service. So if you want to encrypt your virtual machine and to improve the security on your platform, we are going to provide this one, which is a feature that we have in SecNumCloud offer until now, but it will be available for everybody and for all usage in OVHcloud and maybe externally. And a new storage offer, more available and more powerful with more performance. So we are going to launch this one next year also. So a great roadmap for all users that they use VMware on OVHcloud or linked to OVHcloud, because as we say, there is so many use cases. All customers have a design for their platform, and all of that is something that we build step by step. And of course, in OVHcloud, we don't provide only VMware offer. So there is other product that it's really useful to discuss also. And I would like just to explain that on the last slide. So yeah, on this one, it's just to remind that as Timo said and Samuel also, we provide VRAC. So VDC, I explained that this just before with virtual data center, but VRAC is really the private network in OVHcloud. So if you know this one, you know that it's really powerful because you can create a private cloud, a private network through different data centers, through different products, because it's not only on VMware platforms. So you can really use this one, and you can add that to your internal network. So through BGP, through NSX, as we explained, or through OVHcloud Connect. So that's really powerful, and don't hesitate to ask us more details, because NSX is available. VRAC is free also in OVHcloud. You don't pay for the traffic, you don't pay for a new feature. It's something just as an enabler, sorry for that. And you will have really a better design for your platform and improve the security, because as we said today, all of that is security, is add more pipes everywhere, but all of that secure, in fact, your platform. You can isolate, you can simplify the maintenance that you do on your platform every day. So it will be really useful. We have the anti-DDoS, which is always a big feature available for free also in OVHcloud, which improves the security on the top, and OVHcloud Connect that we explained before, which is an option for this one. All is not free also, but which is really useful for an extension of your data center. As I said, don't hesitate to contact your account manager or your professional services, because if you have questions to build all of that, we will be here to build that with you. So thank you, and have a good one.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.